Hello! I'm Gabrielle. If you've never watched any of my videos, hello! Thanks for being here. Today's gonna just be very casual. I'll just, vlog with you here, but I thought I would do a mini book haul. It is currently a Saturday, and over the past few days, I made some stops at local bookstores near me. So I thought I would share all the wonderful finds that I got. I was very, very pleased because overall, I think in total, I spent $14 for 4 books. So not too bad. And one of them was more expensive. Like one of them was $9 and the other were $5. So it was pretty good overall in terms of pricing. I've been meaning to post a bit more recently, but I've had some issues with swelling in my face. So I didn't really feel comfortable coming on camera looking a bit crazy, but I feel like it's at an okay level now where you probably don't notice a difference too much, but that's besides the point. I thought there was something there, but it's just a hamper. Let's just get into it. First up, The Unwilling by Kelly Braffet, or Braffet, if that's what you want to go with. So of course, I should preface with, I haven't read any of these books, so these will all be new to me, so I can't necessarily recommend or not recommend them for you. But this one, so again, The Unwilling, I thought it was like a really cool cover, and at this bookstore, their section for like fantasy is very sci-fi leaning, which I read less of. And it's a lot of authors that I don't know. And because I have like such a ginormous TBR of authors I do know and I'm excited to read books about, it's always difficult for me to like take the chance on something. But this one seemed promising enough. So, the description says, Judah is an orphaned girl with a secret gift, born at the gates of Highfall Castle. Raised alongside Gavin, heir to Lord Elbin's empire, the two share an extrasensory bond, one that is key to Judah's survival and her possible undoing. Elbin, as mighty as he is cruel, plans to use Judah as a pawn to amass greater control. He'll stop at nothing to get what he wants. He'll stop at nothing to get what he wants. Milo as well. But beyond the castle walls, a magus, a healer with his own powerful force, has arrived from the provinces. He too has designs on the realm. Designs on the realm? What does that mean? And at the heart of his plans lies Judah, the girl who started life with no name and no history, will soon discover her own strength. Intriguingly, she does not have to be given power. She can just take it. So it's a little bit vague, but hidden powers, unknown powers, abilities, I love that kind of stuff. So we'll see how that one goes. The next one, The Rise of Io by Wesley Chu. At first, I thought this said The Rise of 10 when I was at the bookstore, but then I tried to look it up on Goodreads, and that was giving me no results, but when I looked up the author's name, it said The Rise of 10. So, this is the same author. They've recently released another book that had some hype online. I'm not sure the name, but if I find the cover, I'll put a little picture of it here. And I was interested in this one, so when I saw it was by the same author, I was like, ooh, now I'm extra interested because I was already interested by the cover. But this one is about Earth is in the aftermath of a civil war between two alien factions. Ella, who's, I'm like gonna summarize it because these are kind of long. Ella, a thief, con artist, and smuggler, is in the wrong place, right time. She happens upon a man and woman being chased by an armed gang. The man freezes, leaving the woman to fight off the attackers. The woman dies, to both Ella and the man's surprise, and the sparkling light that rises from the woman enters Ella instead of the man. She soon realizes she's been inhabited by Io, a low-ranking Quasing who was involved in some of the worst decisions in human histories. Now the useless alien is in her head and is giving every impression to try to get her killed. And if you can't trust the voices in your head, who can you trust? I don't know. I trust the voices in my head, and that gets me up to no good. Okay, the second one from the bookstore I went to today, Promise of the Wolves. So it's cool when you find like a hardback that you're interested in. I do prefer reading on paperback, but of course, there's just something about a hardback that feels so official. So this is Promise of the Wolves by Dorothy Hurst. Seems like it's the first in a series. It says The Wolf Chronicles in that gold band there. And this one is kind of about, it seemed like a, what was it? A wolf from a forbidden mixed blood litter who has to earn her place in a pack. Risking expulsion from their pack, she and her pack mates begin to hunt humans because there's a war between wolves and humans. But then she, I think it's pronounced Kala, the main wolf character, she saves a human girl from drowning. And she learns about the lies behind the wolf's promise. So it seems like a bit of, you know, misfit, having to navigate whether the world that she grew up in is really the right way of living and stuff like that, which I always love. So Promise of the Wolves, looking forward to that one. And then the last one I got, so like I said, mini, so it'll only be a few books, is Falling Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes. And this one seemed popular when I looked it up on Goodreads at the store. It had a lot of reviews on Goodreads. I want to say like over 50,000. In the 3 kingdoms of Mythica, magic has long been forgotten, and while hard-won peace has reigned for centuries, a deadly unrest now simmers below the surface. As the rulers of each kingdom grapple for power, the lives of their subjects are brutally transformed, and 4 key players, royals and rebels alike, find their fates forever entwined. Cleo, Jonas, Lucia, and Magnus are caught in a dizzying world of treacherous betrayals, shocking murders, secret alliances, and even unforeseen love. I love it! Sounds like it's multi-POV, which I am a fan of. I know some people feel strongly about like first person versus third person and then multi-POV in general, but I am a fan. At the bookstore, I kind of had these thoughts going through my head, and I don't think I've talked about it before, but I just wanted to see if anyone out there feels the same way. So as I was telling you, while I was looking at these books, I would look them up on Goodreads, and if it had like a below 3.0 average, I generally wouldn't pick it up. Like there were other books that I was kind of interested in, so I wouldn't pick it up. Or in general, like if it's the second in a series, I don't pick it up if I don't have the first one, just in case it's like not necessarily to be read as a standalone. But I have this like kind of sadness in my head. Like I remember growing up, every Saturday I would go to the library, I would get like 10 books, often some that were like things I have read 10 million times before. Like there are a handful of books that I've reread 10 million times because I would check them out every week from the library and reread them if nothing else struck my fancy. But in general, I would sit there for at least an hour. We would always be there reading through all the descriptions of the books, and whatever sounded interesting to me, I would get it and take it. And I just find nowadays, even when I go to the library, let alone buying books, you know, that are cheaper than if you bought them straight from the store, I have this like urge to check the ratings of them and look at that to determine whether I want to read it or not. And it's like, yes, okay, reviews are there for a reason. You don't necessarily want to read a book if everyone's saying it's 1 star, but at the same time, it just kind of takes a little bit of the joy out of choosing books or like discovering them. Like I have this whole crisis in my head where my to be read list is like hundreds of books, and so many of them are like to be released, like they're continuing to be released right now, or they're newer books that were released in the past year. And like some of my favorite artists publish so quickly, so like they always have a new thing to read, and I just feel like so bogged down mentally by the desire to read so much. So it's like a double-edged sword, if that's the right way to use the word, where like I'm so excited to read all the books, but then the weight of it just like kills me, and it makes me feel anxious at times, which I know I need to just like sort out on my own. I feel like someone hearing this would think I'm ridiculous, but it's so real. I'm like, oh, I wanna, you know, books are art. Like I want to just ingest the beautiful words of amazing books, knowing that I have to go through a lot of like bad ones to find the most amazing gems. but you won't know which ones are gonna be gems for you until you read them. And so I'm like, ugh, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I just kind of wish sometimes like I would just go off of the descriptions of books and whatever sounds interesting to me is what I'll pick up. I think I could like mentally make more efforts to try to be that way. I just need to like make the decision to do it. But at the same time, I do want to read books. Like there's a joy in reading popular books that are being discussed on social media now, because then it's like nice to have a lot of people to talk about it with, and it enhances that feeling of community and not being alone in what you enjoy. So it's like a mess in my brain. Anyways, I'm glad I picked these up. I hope I read them soon because I have quite a few books on my physical TBR that I need to read, but I also have my ebooks that I have on deck. So we'll see what is the future holds for me. If you've read any of the books that I picked up and you like them, let me know. If you didn't like them, don't let me know, because I just bought them and I'm gonna read them. So I don't want to hear like how bad you hated it, because then I will be less inclined to check it out for myself. And I'm going to, because I bought it. So that's like another thing is like, since I bought it, now I feel more pressure to read it, which like, of course I should. But at the same time, I just want to be a mood reader and go off of what I'm feeling. Anyways, I will stop rambling. Sorry to be so annoying. I will see you in another video very soon. Bye.